Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerds with Chainsaws podcast with your hosts, Dalton Wright and Brett Drogemeyer.
How's it going, everyone?
We are a little bit behind schedule, but that is okay. Brett had prior obligations.
Yeah, I went on vacation, and we just didn't get a chance to record an episode last week because of it.
But I mean, no big deal.
Yeah.
To start off this week, I will start with my drink, which actually I believe is the same from last week. I just kind of ran out of other things during last week, 2 weeks ago, but I ran out of things during last week. So we are having some good old mead.
Some more of the, is it Redstone?
Yep.
Very nice.
Redstone Meadery.
I
don't really have anything else to add to that one since we already went over it.
Yeah, I am having a variation of one we had a little while back, actually. I have the peach version of Long Drink.
Long drink. That's a good drink.
Have you had? I couldn't remember if you had the peach ones or not.
I haven't had peach. There are, I think, two. Oh, actually, they came out with some of these drinks. Let me head over to their website here. Yes, I'm 21 years of age.
Peach is pretty good.
Products. I've had traditional, zero sugar, and cranberry. Peach is new,
Peach
as
is
well
new.
as long drink strong.
No, Strong's been out for a little bit.
Oh, it's not new, but I haven't had it.
I think they have another one, too.
That's all I can find on their website.
I swear I saw another one.
Long drink?
It was like a summer
weird,
flavor.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, yellow can. What is the yellow can? Pineapple, I think. Yeah, pineapple is their other new one.
I don't think they sell it currently.
It was.
If it was a summer special.
Hello.
Yes. You good?
I think my earbuds broke.
Well, are you alive? You
They keep connecting and disconnecting.
nice?
Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, did that work? That might have worked. We'll try that.
Well, you're not going all fucky for me anymore, so.
I don't know what the fuck was going on. I just have one earbud in right now, so hopefully that works.
You sound fine.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Sorry about that. I left my earbuds in Cassie's car, so I'm using her earbuds, and they've been through the washing machine like fucking 5, 6, 7 times because she never empties her pockets out. So yeah,
But
they're not in the best shape.
long drinks are pretty good. It's a weird taste that you kind of got to get used to. It's really floral because of the gin.
This one you don't taste the gin as much in. You get a little bit of the gin, but mostly you get like a nice peach ring flavor. It's pretty good.
I really liked the zero sugar. It was somehow sweeter than normal long drink. I do remember that. But I suppose we've got gaming news.
Yes, we do.
I have not played it, but the big update for Helldivers came out.
A lot of people are very happy about it.
I've heard good things.
I've played a little bit of it. I haven't played much, but it's at least for like the difficulty we usually play on, which is 6. It has made things significantly easier.
So I figured we'd go down the massive patch note.
Yeah.
So starting with the 1.001.0 or 1.001.1 patch, the September 17th patch.
It is very long.
It's massive. So starting off just at the general here, previously partial damage dealt 50% of full damage, which we found to be overly punishing and reduced effectiveness too much, leading to an extensive reliance on high armor pen weapons. We've now increased partial to 65% of full damage to address the issue. Which, I mean, that'll be nice. And Helldivers take less damage from headshots. Instead of 100% extra damage, it's only 50% extra. Which will be really good for some of the further down updates that happen. Specifically the Eruptor. Because they added shrapnel back to that.
The
which
correct
was one-shotting Helldivers.
They added the correct shrapnel to that one.
Yeah, it's no longer just a big explosion. But the old shrapnel was accidentally killing people too often because it'd get hit in the head and fucking that was game over. We're dead.
Which in Helldivers isn't actually that big of a deal. You die all the fucking time.
Eventually it catches up to you. But I'll let you go over the first guns here.
Alright, the first 2 are combined into one. It is the Liberator and Liberator Carbine. The damage was increased from 60 to 70. Durable damage was increased from 14 to 17. Stagger force was increased from 10 to 15. Get an extra spare magazine. And your starting spare magazines also increased by 1.
Which if you're running, what is it? Stocked supply pods or whatever the fuck they call it. You get full anyway, so not too big a deal. But good little buff to the starter rifle, which we already had at like A tier, B or something.
It was pretty good already. It wasn't. Yeah.
Nice little buff to an already good gun. The next one is what I'm personally excited to test on because I ragged on this thing really hard on our tier list, and that's the only you have to pay money for to get fucking gun in the game, which is the Knight. I put that way down in F because it just fucking sucks. Now I'm interested in it. They increased its damage from 50 to 65. Durable damage from 5 to 7. Still piss poor, but something, I suppose. Magazine's now fully refill and picking up resupply. Don't care about that. What I care about is this one. Reduced recoil. That was my absolute biggest gripe with it, was you had to basically single fire the gun because its recoil is so fucking massive that unless they were point blank from you, which things are bad if you have anything point blank from you anyway, you missed every single shot. It climbed too much.
If I remember correctly, it had
recoil.
the same amount of recoil as the Liberator did, but like 3 times the fire rate.
No, I had to have more, because it was fucking ridiculous. I mean, I have no idea, because I used it once and said, nah, fuck this, and I never touched it again.
I know they reduced it by 25%. I have seen that, like, actual numbers, so...
Well, I'm interested in it. I will give it another try.
Alright, next up is the Liberator Concussive. It now comes with a drum magazine which holds 60 rounds. Number of mags has been reduced from 10 to 6 to compensate for that. Yeah. A lot more
Well,
ammo.
I mean, not exactly what I wanted from the concussive. It needed to do a bit more damage, but
At least now you have enough ammo to maybe hold your own.
suppose you can just mag dump a fucking crowd with 60 rounds. Jesus. Um, After that's the tenderizer.
I've used that one a little bit, not post patch though.
It's it's in a war bond I don't have, so I don't know this one, but rounds in its magazine from 30 to 35 and an extra starting mag. Must have been a pretty decent gun to not get too much of a buff.
It was a pretty decent gun. A little extra ammo is nothing to complain about.
All right.
All right. The breaker. You get an extended magazine that holds 16 shells. I can't remember what it had before.
I think it was 13.
Was it 13 or 10 or something? I don't
think.
fucking remember. So you get a couple extra shells in each mag, and the stagger force was increased by 25%. From 10 to 15.
I think that's fitting. The breaker was still pretty good. It's just had a ammo issue.
Yeah, the only issue it really had was it didn't have enough ammo to deal with things. So that's a good fix for the breaker to make it a little more useful.
In which our next weapon is actually supposed to be what was the initial fix for that, but it just wasn't. But now it might be, which is the spray and pray. Before, the spray and pray had the ammo issue solved, but it just couldn't fucking kill anything. But now it has a different muzzle brake. It's a duckbill muzzle brake to make the spread horizontal instead of more vertical, kind of tightening your shots in so more pellets are going to hit, more pellets, more damage. And they also increased its damage from 192 to 240. So now it might actually serve the role it's supposed to, which is just breaker with more shots.
Yeah, more shot. Crowd control breaker.
Mm-hmm. Next is your favorite.
The scythe has faster cooldown, adjustments to the heat VFX, which look fucking awesome. The scope was changed to a low-powered scope, completely removed recoil, and it sets enemies on fire faster now.
I think that recoil one's funny because it already had like a recoil stat of like
It was
1.
like 2, yeah.
So just okay, now it's just an actual laser beam, but yeah, it again can't be. I think most of the heat weapons follow that same the same quote unquote buff, which isn't really doing much to it, but just making it a little easier to use.
And also, that isn't my favorite one. My favorite one's the sickle.
Oh, I thought it was opposite. I thought sickle was the laser beam and scythe was the like assault rifle one.
Nah, the scythe's the straight beam.
Ah. Well, then it's actually literally a laser beam.
Yeah. I don't know why it had recoil to begin with, but yeah.
Before it had just like a red dot scope. Now it has an actual like mid-range scope.
Yeah, it's a low power adjustable scope, which is nice.
So I guess kind of trying to separate the role of the scythe and sickle, making the scythe more of a quote unquote distance weapon, and your sickle the close range. But crossbow explosion radius increased by 50%, and the damage increased from 150 to 350.
Hell yeah.
Crossbow must not have been doing too well.
No, I don't think I ever saw anyone running it.
Well, that's a big chunky damage up, so you know.
Alright, next up is the Eruptor. Shrapnel projectiles amounts are set to 30. So, I think... And the shrapnel damage is to 110, which I believe is exactly the same as the frag grenades.
Yep, they just gave it the frag shrapnel,
Yeah.
which is more pieces of shrapnel than it used to have anyway.
but they're doing less damage. Because it had like the fucking artillery shrapnel damage, which is ridiculous. Explosion damage was decreased from 340 to 255. So, that's just, yeah. To account for them adding shrapnel back in, I'm sure. An explosion radius was increased from 33%, or increased by 33%. 17 for inner and 50 for outer. I don't know what
So making it a true...
that means, really, but...
Well, your inner outer is going to be kind of like any of your explosives. The inner radius does more damage than your outer. So inner radius is probably what the explosive damage is going to account for.
And the outer's the shrapnel damage.
Outer's shrapnel. That's how I am going to figure it is. I never got to use the eruptor. I really want to. I'm excited that shrapnel's back, so when I do get my hands on it, I'll be happy. Defender, though, this is an SMG I actually really liked. Damage increased from 70 to 75, and durable damage from 7 to 8. Just small little buff to it. I think the Defender was in a pretty solid B, I think is what we put it at.
It was a good gun.
So it probably won't move from where we put it, but just a little quality of life there. This next one needed it big, though.
Liberator Penetrator. Damage increased from 45 to 60. That's
Huge.
it. That's pretty much all it needed, too.
Yeah. The medium armor pin was nice, but fuck, it took quite a few shots to put anything down. So that's still a little bit less than the normal Liberator does, I believe. Yeah.
Liberator is
70 now.
70 now, yeah.
So they upped it to the old Liberator's base damage, which I think is about perfect.
Yeah.
The Diligence. Damage increased from 125 to 165, and durable damage from 32 to 42. I thought the Diligence was pretty good, so this is major. That means you can two-shot Devastators now with the base Diligence.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I'm happy with that.
Want to go over the Counter Sniper too, since that's technically the same
Yeah.
gun?
Diligence Counter Sniper, damage from 140 to 200. Might be able to one-shot Devastators. I'm going to have to test that. Durable damage from 14 to 50. Didn't know its durable was worse than the normal Diligence. What the hell?
That's
and Stagger Force increased. Which, I don't know why Stagger Force on it. I didn't notice it staggering literally fucking anything I shot it with, but I guess it has a little bit of stagger.
Alright.
Good buffs.
Yeah. Blitzer now has a Jesus. Now has a stun effect that builds up per shot on its targets. So it's basically the Blitzer has Stagger Force now that stacks every time you shoot.
I don't have the Blitzer. That's at the end of that Warbond. I don't even have the plasma shotgun. So, did you ever unlock the Blitzer? Or no.
I have it unlocked. I don't think I've ever played with it though. So
All right.
I've heard a couple things saying it's pretty good now. So I'm gonna have to give it a try one of these times.
All right. Torture, which I think is the primary flamethrower.
I think so.
Damage increased by 50%. Increased armor pen from 3 to 4, so that's pretty big. And flamer mechanics reverted to before the Escalation of Freedom update. That's gonna make a lot of people happy.
Also something I haven't
fucked fire.
Yeah, also something I haven't tried out yet, but if it's fully reverted all the flamethrower bullshit, it'll be nice.
All right, on to sidearms.
The Peacemaker, which I believe is the starting one. You get
Correct.
an extra spare magazine. Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't. There's literally no fucking point to use the Peacemaker. As soon as you get the Redeemer, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just use that. Dagger.
That's the
This is
little
actually this is
laser
one I was
right?
excited for. Yeah, it's the laser pistol. I was excited for the daggers. When I saw it was dog shit, I got a little sad. So, dagger gains heat more slowly, so aka more ammo. No recoil, damage increased from 200 to 250. Sets enemies on fire faster, and heat effects adjustments, VFX adjustments.
Dude, they look good
I don't
now.
know if I don't know if that's gonna be enough to like persuade people to actually use it, but I'll still give it a try because I think it's a nifty little gun.
I just want to make clear that the heat VFX now for the laser guns are fucking cool. You can like see the heat radiating off the lasers. They also changed the sound effects for the lasers too. They sound a little different now.
Ooh. Better or eh?
I'd say they sound better. They sound more like a laser gun than a. I don't know what they used to sound like. They kind of just sounded like bullets, kind of. Just slightly different sounding bullets.
Well, the main laser I used was the laser cannon, and so I really liked the sound of that one. That one was real chunky.
I don't know if they changed that one or not. But for the scythe and the sickle, they did change the sounds a little bit.
Nice. Well, I guess you'll get a finish out sidearms here.
The crisper, which is the flamethrower pistol, had a damage increase of 50%, which I think is the same as it's the same as the torture.
Same exact.
Exact same thing, and increased armor pen from 3 to 4. So
I think that's just across flame weapons in general.
Yeah.
They did that.
I believe
Which is good
so.
because the Escalation of Freedom update fucked all flame weapons, so that's good. It's good to see that they are finally listening to people. Alright, I'm gonna like this one here. On to support weapons. Dedicated anti-tank weapons like recoilless rifle, quasar, commando, expendable anti-tank spear, my favorite, and Patriot exosuit rockets have all received significant damage boosts to enhance their effectiveness. Big W. The exosuit, like the Patriot exosuit, was kind of ass once they gave you the one with quad auto cannons. So I'm happy to see the rockets are getting a bit of a buff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what this next point is. I think that's a two-parter for you. I think it's like a three-parter for you.
It's still talking about the fucking anti-tank weapons.
Alright, these weapons generally fall into three categories. Strong and reliable, which is the recoilless and the spear, can afford to be less accurate when firing at armored targets since most hits will eliminate enemies the size of a charger. True. I thought the recoilless was the autocannon for a second. I was like, the fuck it ain't. But just kidding. Recoilless rifle's pretty goated, so I'll give them that. Strong, the E38 and Quasar are highly effective, often killing targets with a single hit to the weak spot. Otherwise, 2 solid shots will handle a charger, or 1 shot for a Hulk. And less strong, the Commando and Patriot exosuit rockets typically require 1 to 3 to take down a charger or Hulk, depending on your aim. So, categorizing your big anti-tank weapons into actual uses. So, now you know a bit more of what to expect when using them instead of just kind of trial and error.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm sure they'll go into it later, but the anti-tank weapons can now take out bot fabricators too, not just the commando.
Yeah,
And the
they
spear.
changed them to where you could just doink them in. Well, because they gave fabricators a health pool.
Yeah.
So now, even like your medium armor pen weapons can damage it, but it's going to take a lot of shots.
It's nice to have just like an EAT or a recoilless and just boop, just fucking one-shotting those things.
Dude, fucking doing that with the commando was so fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. Anyway, grenade launcher. You get 2 spare mags instead of 1 to start. The magazines, or max spare magazines, was increased from 2 to 3, and the explosion radius was slightly increased. So more ammo, more boom.
Always good. Laser cannon. I like this one. Guess it's the same thing. Cooldown is slightly faster. Removed recoil sets enemies on fire faster. Ooh, can now damage heavier enemies like Chargers, Bile Titans, Impalers, and Hulks. And adjustments to heat VFX. I like that can damage medium enemies.
Yeah.
Or I guess technically those would be considered heavies. Good.
Which I don't know
like
why
that.
it couldn't damage them to begin with, but
Do like laser cannon, so good buff.
arc thrower. I used to use this thing quite a bit. Range increase from 35 to 55. So now you can zap your friends from even farther away.
Let's go.
Also has a moderate stun effect that builds up on its target, just like the Blitzer. So it has stagger force now, basically, that stacks. It can jump to enemies additional times, which means I can zap my friends more often. Hell yeah. And the durable damage was increased from 50 to 100.
Maybe giving you a reason to run the electrical conduit armors that basically had zero fucking purpose before.
That's a pretty good improvement there for the arc thrower on something that was already pretty decent. So I might be up there in top tier now.
I do like where this is going.
I also
This one will make everyone happy.
Here, I also like that the that's something I think balance-wise is really good because it's high risk, high reward. It's really good at killing enemies, but you also have a really good chance of killing your fucking friends too.
Again, wear that extra electrical conduit armor when you got a teammate that just likes fucking bonking that thing everywhere. But the railgun gets a massive buff. I don't think quite back to its former glory, but pretty damn close. Durable damage increased from 60 to 225, and fully overcharging your shot damage increases from 150 to 250%, making it an absolute monster again.
It's pretty good. I've played with it. You can take out fucking chargers and shit in a couple shots if you're real accurate.
I mean, the meta before was, I think it was 2 shots to the leg, take out the armor with the first shot, second shot downs it.
Yeah.
Which, weird strategy, but it works, and you can probably start doing it again.
I didn't play much with it, but I played a little with it just to see. And yeah, it's pretty good again. Definitely usable again. I
thought it was usable before, but
if that's how you want to
whiny.
roll, it's more usable. How about that? A little more viable. All right, stalwart. Damage increase from 60 to 70. Durable damage increased from 14 to 17. And stagger force increased from 10 to 15.
So it's basically just a big liberator now.
Yeah, it has the same damage as the Liberator, doesn't it?
Which I like. Because if you're going to run a weapon like
If you're gonna,
the Eruptor
yeah,
is your
exactly.
primary, the Stalwart is you basically flip-flop them. Stalwart's not your primary, Eruptor's your support weapon. So, I do like that. Machine gun, stagger force increased from 15 to 20. That's it. Machine gun was pretty good already, so...
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Anti-material rifle had its damage increase, or durable damage increased from 135 to 180. It can now damage heavy enemies like Chargers, Bile Titans, Impalers, Hulks. And its stagger force was increased from 20 to 25. Another one that really didn't make sense that it couldn't damage the heavier enemies, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a fucking anti-material rifle.
The enemies are made of materials. Why can't I hurt them?
Like, I get that it's not a dedicated anti-tank, but you should be able to hurt them. So, good, good buff. Heavy machine gun. Stagger increased from 20 to 25, and can now damage heavier enemies. That one, I would be okay with not hurting heavies. Because it is still just a machine gun. But the heavy machine
It's a
gun
heavy machine gun.
It is kind of poo-poo. They've buffed it a couple of times, but it's kind of just remained poo-poo compared to just the normal machine gun. So anything to make it better, anything to differentiate it from the machine gun is a good thing to me.
That might be a little better now. At least, yeah.
You at least now have a reason to take it over the heavy. Like, oh,
At least
I can hurt chargers now.
At least you can hurt them, yeah.
It's still a bitch to control fucking recoil.
Commando actually has a nerf. Demolition strength against structures has been reduced. Can no longer one-shot automaton fabricators. However, they have a health pool, so now you just have to shoot them twice instead of once. I think that's fair, especially since the main the big anti-tank weapons can take them out in one shot now.
Yeah, it was a little broken being able to do that with the commando. It was fun as hell though.
So
I still think even with that, the commando's probably still a pretty good weapon.
It's still a great option.
4 rockets, expendable, cooldown time's like a minute 45. You can just call these things out nonstop. Flamethrower. Damage increased by 33%. Mechanics reverted to before escalation. Armor pen from 3 to 4. Can now damage heavy enemies. Yeah, I mean...
Good improvement.
I don't know why the fuck they ever took that away from it. It could damage them before, and they went, nah, flamethrower can't do that. Like, the fuck? Look at real life. Yes, they can.
Fire can't hurt big things. Big things are impervious to fire, don't you know?
Yeah, your charger, which is made of flesh, can't be hurt by fire.
Good change.
Now it can, so good buff, good buff.
This one's cool. The autocannon can now damage heavy enemies, like Chargers, Bile Titans, Impalers, and Hulks. I like that. I don't know why. That's another one that's like, I don't really know why it couldn't damage them to begin with.
The only reason I can see them having not done that is because the quad autocannons on your Exo do hurt the big one, so it's like, oh, your big exosuit can carry your bigger autocannon versus what your single Helldiver can, so make it a little more powerful, but...
I still think...
Yeah, it's a fucking cannon. It should be able to hurt them.
Yeah, it's a fucking team-served weapon, technically. Crew-served weapon. It should be able to at least hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, so... Makes sense that it can hurt heavies. Good change. Got a couple of grenade ones here. Frag grenade. Shrapnel damage increased by roughly 50%. Weird way to word it, but alright. Max amount of frags from 4 to 5. Refill increased from 2 to 3. And explosion radius increased. Might give you a reason to actually run frags if you can carry 5 of them now.
Yeah, they weren't great before, but that might...
Yeah, HE was better in every way, yeah. But now...
That might make it a little better. Thermite grenades, explosion damage increased from 100 to 2,000.
Oh.
Shorter time until the thermite ignites. Time until it explodes slightly reduced. And max number decreased from 4 to 3.
Alright, yeah, that's good.
They're pretty good now. I've seen some people play with them. They're pretty good now. They act how they should act for being a fucking stick-on, like, anti-tank thermite thing.
Yeah, they were dog shit before. Like, the trailer for them showed, like, a dude sticking one to a charger head, and you're like, oh, That's what it's used for, sticking them to heavies. Let it burn through them. Did it in game, you could throw all 4 of
They
them
were
at something and it
sparklers,
still wouldn't die.
basically.
So, having it now melt through shit at 2,000 damage, that makes sense. Um, I mean, I'm gonna skip over this Galactic War. It now has, like, displays for shit, whatever. Emote wheel, though. Now you can have 4 emotes. I don't know why the fuck there was an emote wheel before, but now you can have multiple emotes. Good improvement. Um, we'll just kind of skim through enemies here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already gone over fabricators having health, so there's that.
Hulk armor has been reduced.
Hulks are weaker. Bruisers now have energy cannons instead of rocket launchers. Tank armor buffed. Berserkers nerfed. The abdomen wasn't a weak spot before?
It was not, technically. Now it is.
That makes no fucking sense.
Chainsaw damage increased? What the fuck? They're even more scary now. Not really.
Devastator's nerfed. Now they'll actually flinch when you hit them, so that's good. Big difference with Devastators is rocket Devastators now have a limited amount of rockets, so you can't just get pelted. And the rockets are a little smaller.
As the devs themselves said, they'll blow their load all over you and then they're done.
That's fucked. Same change to gunships. Chargers nerfed. Pretty big.
Yeah.
Except for their damage is increased, so they have less health and they move slower. But when you get hit by them, you're gonna fucking get hit by them.
Yeah.
Hunters, health decreased by just a bit.
Scavengers.
I don't know why the fuck they dropped scavenger health. They were already a one-shot by anything. Bile Titans made weaker. Impalers made weaker. Stratagems. Here's where we get some good stuff again. Every stratagem.
So to summarize the enemies, basically they made everything a little bit weaker. all the heavy stuff a little bit weaker.
I'll let you have the fun one, which is the second one here, but first off, every stratagem capable of damaging heavy armored enemies has had their damage increased to account for the increased health of heavier enemies. The goal with this change is to have the stratagems on a similar higher level than before. So, making you actually have a little bit of thought into it now instead of just big thing for everything.
The first change, the best change.
Honestly.
I have played with it. It is much better. The Eagle 500 kilogram bomb has had the explosion radius increased to better match the visuals. It is...
Yeah, that thing was stupid before.
Yeah. It's a lot better now. Yeah, it does better. It better matches the visuals. I still wish it was a little bigger, if I'm being honest. But it's a lot better than it was. It used to like kill like one enemy if you threw it into like a automaton base. Kill like one thing maybe. Now if you throw it into an automaton base, you're getting like 10 kills. So it's a lot better than it was.
Brother, if a charger moved 5 feet to the left, it wouldn't get hit by it.
That's the other nice thing too. Is if you're using it as a precision strike to take out a heavy, it's a lot easier to fucking hit them with it.
God. I'll kind of lump the next three together. Eagle rockets damage slightly increased. I thought they were fine, and the Gatling and machine gun sentries stagger force increased from 15 to 20. Again, those really aren't meant to stagger things, so I'm not sure why that's the buff, but We get what we get.
Tesla towers. They have the same staggering thing as the other arc weapons do, which is nice. And now has moderate stun effects that build up. So maybe it's a little heavier than the arc weapons stagger force, but yeah, it'll stun enemies that it shocks and doesn't kill.
Now, one of my personal favorite stratagems in recent time, the HMG emplacement. Stagger force increased from 20 to 25, and this next one doesn't make sense to me because it says it can damage heavier enemies. It was already damaging heavier enemies, dude. I was fucking mowing down Hulks and tanks and shit with it before, so I don't know what they're talking
about. If you're hitting it in the weak spot, I'm pretty sure it can punch through like their normal armor now.
If so, that is cracked, because that fucking HMG is awesome. So, I'm very excited about that.
I'll do the next two together because they're both exosuits. The Patriot exosuit, the Gatling gun has a little more stagger force, same as the Gatling Sentry. So it went from 15 to 20. And the Emancipator exosuit, the autocannon durable damage was increased from 60 to 150, and the rate of fire on his weapons was increased from 125 to 175, and the ammo was increased from 75 to 100 per arm. So you get a lot more ammo, you can shoot it faster, and you do more damage.
I already thought the Emancipator was cracked. The Patriot kind of fell behind once they added the Emancipator. Hopefully with the changes to rockets and it's a gun, it comes back a bit, but I'm a fan of the Emancipator, personally.
I haven't really played with the Emancipator too much.
It's fun. Just raining down autocannon shots. It's fun. Orbital laser, orbital rail, both damage slightly increased. I think that's good for the laser, because it would take like the entire duration of a laser to take out like a charger.
Or like one of the gun towers on automatons.
Yeah.
The laser cannon towers.
Rail cannon pretty much one shot literally fucking anything other than a Bile Titan. So damage increase on that I don't think it's gonna do much, but I run rail cannon every single game, so I'm happy to see a buff. And Gas Strike's just kind of weird.
Gas Strike is now a war crime instead of a cute little cloud. So they're reworking the gas mechanics for the next war bomb that's coming. Is it out yet? I think it is out.
Yeah, it came out like 2 days after this update.
Oh, okay. So
or like a week later, sorry.
So they reworked the gas for the Chemical Agents war bomb, and instead of nerfing the shit out of it like they did with the fire one, they actually made it good. So gas now causes blindness, and yeah, but it doesn't do as much damage. So I don't know. I really haven't played much with gas, so I can't really make much of a comment on it.
So is it basically going to be like a smoke screen that hurts?
That's kind of how I take it, as is like if you're not in it, you can see through, but if you're in it, it's going to be like your fucking eyes are bleeding like it's mustard gas. And you're not going to be able to see very well. But I don't know. I haven't played with it at all, so I can't really make a comment on it.
I think the last thing that we'll go over here on this update note, there is one other update note we can go over. Because after this is just fixes, which, like, whatever. Is planets, all of them are kind of the same. Intense heat and extreme cold can now change based on whether it's night or day. To that extent, some desert planets will now only have intense heat during the day, whereas during the night it'll have nothing, or sometimes extreme cold, like an actual fucking desert is. and arid planets only have intense heat during fire tornadoes.
which is really nice.
Intense heat is ass, just
Yeah,
in every sense of it. And extreme cold is actually nothing but a good thing.
yeah. Extreme cold makes laser weapons fucking insanely good.
Makes them insane, and I think your stamina's better. Whereas intense heat's the exact opposite, so it's like, I loved playing with cold, but heat could suck a wiener. But if we scroll all the way down here, skip past the first little hotfix.
Fixes, miscellaneous fixes.
Because the first hotfix just did something for the shield generator pack. It was acting a little weird.
It was making you invincible.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it was. Did you see the in-game lore for why it was doing that?
No.
The in-game lore was they accidentally distributed some of General Brash's personal shield generators.
Oh.
It's like,
That's pretty funny.
It's like, no wonder he's still alive and fucking shield generators make him invincible.
I guess the other patch note isn't what I thought either. I guess at the very bottom of it, it has a little joke. General Brash was promoted to Super 10-star General after the latest personal shield generator confusion. That's funny. But yeah, big update for Helldivers. And I mean, I see nothing but good things about it online. I guess some people are like, it's still not quite what it needs to be, but most people are, yeah, it's good again.
The majority of people are happy about it. The little I have played on our usual difficulty, we usually play on 6 because you can get all the samples. The game has been significantly easier and like more consistent, I think is a good way to put it. It just feels better. I was still dying here and there, like I'd get fucking headshotted by a machine gun turret and fucking die. It's like, yeah, okay, I can expect to die there. It wasn't like any bullshit deaths. It's like, well, there's literally fucking nothing I could have done there. It feels a lot better, in my opinion. And let's see. So we play on 6 for difficulty. There's how many? Is there 10 or 11 now?
It used to be 9. I think
9,
it's now 10.
10. So
I think they added a 10th.
So there's still 4 more difficulties I could go up if I wanted it to be harder. So overall, I think the game's in a really good state right now, how it is, difficulty-wise, and I think they really nailed the consistency of enemy encounters down. It feels a lot more consistent and not like you're just getting killed by random bullshit constantly. It's like, okay, I died there, and I know the reason why I died is because I did something fucking stupid. Like bum rushing a machine gun encampment by myself.
I'm curious to see if the hunter, like, just 15 less health change does it literally anything.
I played a little bit of bugs. I really didn't notice much. They seemed to die just as easy as they did before. That might make a little bit more of a difference on the lower difficulties for like new players than it would to our the more higher difficulty players.
I won't go too much into one game here, but the competition, I only had one fucking glass. Competition for Helldivers being Space Marines 2. I've been playing recently, and it's damn good. I'll go a bit more into that on our next episode. But it's good. It reminds me of the old days of gaming, like Gears of War 3. If you ever played any of the Gears of War games, just being a lumbering, hulking brick shithouse of a man fighting against other giant hulking brick shithouses of enemies. You'll enjoy Space Marine too. Third-person shooter, it's good.
I haven't got it yet, but I am damn close to getting it. It looks very good.
The other Ethan I know from Home Depot has already like almost 70 hours in it. It's a good game. And just today, they added private matchmaking for operations so you can play with just your friends. The other game I wanted to mention came out Tuesday, 2 days ago. I didn't think it was going to come out in like the next year and a half, 2 years. I've talked about it once before on this podcast, but I've been following it for months. That is the Forever Winter. Remember what that is?
Yeah, I do.
It came out on Tuesday.
The You Are Not That Guy game.
Yep. I convinced Ethan. I showed him the official release trailer like a couple weeks ago. He's like, "Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get it." And he played about an hour of it yesterday, and he goes, "Dude, it's fucking hard."
Yeah, you're not that guy.
And I'm like, "Good. That's what I want. Is the game that's just brutally punishing for being stupid." And most of the reviewers online are like, "This game fucking sucks. The gunplay's horrible. You just die fucking instantly. Like, whose side are you even on? It doesn't fucking tell you." It's like, correct. You're on nobody's side.
That's the point.
You can't go in and fight. That's not what you're supposed to do. Like, the fucking tagline of the game, the genre that they're trying to go for is combat
Hope. Hello?
maps win when everyone clears out.
There we go.
Loot some shit and leave.
I lost you for a second there.
Nah. Yeah, everyone's trying to fucking run and gun this game like Call of Duty, and it's like, no. That's not what it is. You gotta move slow, move with some thought, be mindful about your actions, and don't piss off either side, because you're fucked if you do.
As of right now, it has mixed reviews.
Yeah, but it's also extremely early access, so it has a bunch of early access jank, and people are complaining about that. They're like, the guns don't feel very smooth. Okay, it's extremely early access. It'll get polished out. Oh, the character's really clunky. Like you don't move very well. It's like, well, part of that's intentional and part of that's early access jank. It's gonna get fixed. You're not supposed to be some super fast super soldier though. You're a fucking... One of the characters is literally the old man. You're an old ass dude carrying 80 pounds of shit on your back. You're not gonna be fast.
You're gonna be clunky.
But the big thing people are complaining about, and I would take issue with this too, is the water system. You have to go out and collect water for what's called the innards. That's your main city. I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to try to play today with Ethan. But you have to collect water for your little colony. And it is an extraction shooter, so you have very little anything. Go out there, collect shit, bring it back, hoard your shit, and have better stuff. If your colony runs out of water, it suffers water death. Your character stays alive and all the stuff you have on your character are there. But everything that you have collected, any upgrades to your home, all the stuff that's just in storage, is gone. Your colony died, so you lost everything.
That's fucking brutal. Goddamn.
Which is brutal, right? I wouldn't be that upset about that kind of system, because it's like, yeah, welcome to war. It fucking sucks, especially when you're on the shit end of every side. the reason people are upset with it isn't that it exists. They're upset because it doesn't ever stop. So, like, say you have 3 days of water. That continues even when you're not playing the game. If something comes up in life and you're not able to play a game for a week, you come back and it's gone.
That kind of sucks.
So people are upset about that, and rightfully so. It's like, this game doesn't respect your time. What if, like, you're going to tell me work happens and I was in a bad spot in the game, lost a few runs, haven't been able to get some water. I can't play for the weekend because I get called into work and I fucking lose everything.
Yeah,
And the devs are like, yeah, it's an early prototype of what we want the system to be, so we're working on it.
I think a good way to fix that would be, like, your resources drain to a certain extent when you're not logged in. It's like, okay, I haven't played in like a week because I got fucking busy. I have to do good on these first couple fucking extractions, or I'm gonna lose all my shit. Would be a better way to do it.
The couple of ways that I saw from the community to fix it, one of them is, make an upgrade that you can get for your place. Like, have it a pretty early on upgrade that makes it to where when you're offline, it slows it down to like half. So then it doubles the amount of time you can get. Or only make water go away when you're playing the game.
Yeah, that would work too.
Oh, if you have 4 days of water, a run is going to cost one of those days, so you better make it back with some water. Like, each run is a day in game.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, we'll see where it goes from there, but that's the main thing the community's upset about, at least the people who understand what the game is. People who have no idea what the game is are, it's too fucking hard, you can't fight anything. Correct.
Exactly.
You're fighting a fucking autonomous mech that's the size of a 3-story building. You're not gonna win, brother.
You're fighting a what's the big fucker? A dreadnought from Warhammer.
Yeah. The AI is a little clunky right now too, because again, it's extremely early access, so it does make a few things harder than it really needs to be. But it's early access. You get what you get. It's $27. I was like, I want this game. I'm buying it. I don't care if it's super jank and not that good right now. I want to see where it develops. Because the developers have already stated, like, we don't care how well it sells during early access. We're still working on it. We're still going to see it through, regardless of sales, because this is a passion project of ours.
I was like,
so I'm not worried.
If the devs are good and open with the community and willing to, discuss changing things with the community, I think, yeah.
Oh, they are extremely transparent and very verbal about what they're doing.
That's good.
I mean, these are devs from other big companies that left to make this, and it is their magnum opus. It's something that they want to see through regardless of cost or regardless of how well it performs. It could have the worst reviews on Steam possible, but they're going to continue to develop it because it's what they want.
It's their Final Fantasy.
So, I'm not concerned about this dev being one that just takes the money and runs.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Because I know a lot of...
Hopefully I have some real thoughts to say about it.
I just hope... I mean... I'm less concerned about that one than I am... Like what happened to fucking BattleBit. It's like, oh, we made all these huge promises, all that. Oh, yeah, an update's coming out. fucking radio silence. Took the money and run, basically. Hopefully they don't do that. I doubt they will if they're, a bunch of old, big game developers coming together to make that.
The thing with BattleBit I saw was that it's a really small development group, and they weren't expecting nearly that amount of people to play it. So then they got a shit ton of money, and everyone was playing it, and everyone was having a great time. They're like, holy shit, something happened here. And they didn't know what to do with it. Everyone came over, everyone started getting really good at the game, turning it into a very high skill game. And everyone's like, this shit ain't balanced right. And the devs are like, we don't know how the fuck to balance a competitive game. That's not what this was meant to be, but it's what it turned into.
Yeah, but BattleBit hasn't had an update in almost a year now.
Yeah, March 2nd was their last one.
Yeah.
So they put out a couple of updates trying to do their best. Nobody was happy with them, and they just like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, it was more that they kept like leading people along. It's like, oh yeah, we got a big update coming. Oh yeah, we got a big update coming. Oh yeah, we got a big update coming. It's like, oh, we have an update coming in a couple weeks. A couple weeks go by. Oh, we got an update coming here in a month or two. Month or two goes past. Oh, we got an update coming here in like 6 months. It's just been like stringing people along. It's like, is this update ever gonna fucking come out? Probably not.
Yeah, it sucks when devs do that.
It's like, that's why it's good that on that one that they're already being like super transparent and open about what they're doing.
I think that's just the age of games that we're going into. Everyone's fed up with the bullshit AAA companies and companies that promise everything and deliver nothing, to where all of these indie devs and even the rise of AA, like still decent sized studios but they don't have massive budgets, just producing really good games and being very verbal about what they want to do and listening to the community and here's what's going on, here's why the update hasn't come out, because this bug happened and it fucking bricked the game, so we're not going to push it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got, just to name off the top of my head, you have Helldivers, you have Warhammer, you have Forever Winter, you have Black Myth Wukong, you have Stellar Blade, you have The Lies of Pi. There's 6 games just right off the top of my head that follow that exact same thing. Developers tired of what the current gaming scene is.
Yeah.
So
I've definitely
I'm excited.
Like the big AAA games still sell all like a shit ton of copies, but you don't really hear anyone talking about them. You hear people talking about the Warhammers, the Helldivers, the little fucking indie games that are coming out and being played. They're being played a shit ton more than any of those games are anymore. At least it seems like.
Well, with the recent stuff, that's what makes me happy is everyone's seeing these games fail, like Suicide Squad or fucking Concord, literally dropping in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was fun, kind of funny.
Everybody's worried because they're like, oh, these big AAA developers, like the ones that have been around forever, like Ubisoft, are just starting to fail, and that's not good. We're not gonna have anyone to make games. It's like, no, that's exactly what we need. We need these companies to realize what they're doing is fucking stupid, and customers are finally starting to vote with their wallet, and they're noticing these big companies failing is the best thing that could happen for gaming right now.
It's like out of the games that are on the like top 100 on the Steam charts right now, a good majority of them are either super old games or small developers. Like number 1 right now is Counter-Strike, obviously.
It's hard to beat that one.
Dota 2, that one came out 2013, so that's an old game. I'm not even gonna count fucking Banana. That's not a game.
But I didn't think PUBG was still that popular.
Yeah, PUBG's up there. That's a small development team. Satisfactory, small development team, small indie game. Rust,
The
small
1.0 release was huge.
Rust, small indie developer. Call of Duty, that one's kind of obviously up there. Call of Duty's super popular, even though it's shit most of the time. Baldur's Gate.
Deadlock's interesting.
Baldur's Gate 3, small developer. I don't know what Deadlock is. What is that?
So it's a third-person hero shooter, but
Oh, it's made by Valve. Oh,
yeah,
that might be good.
it's a third-person hero shooter that is absolutely cracked. I've only seen like 2 clips of it, but the people that have played Deadlock, like that have been able to test it, have been like, holy shit, this game is actually fucking good.
It's what Overwatch used to be, basically.
Yeah.
I'd play that.
It's third person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the big company games that are on the top of this list are all Valve, because Valve makes fucking bangers. They don't make games very often, but when they do, goddamn.
Grand Theft Auto's up here. Rainbow Six is up here. Those are big developers, but they're down in 11th and 12th spot. Then it goes to TF2, game that came out in 2007.
Valve again.
Valve again, yeah. Fucking poker.
Warhammer.
Then you got Warhammer, small developer. Once Human, I don't know that one.
I followed it for a little bit. I watched people play it. It looks interesting, to say the least. But what I wanted to play it for, it doesn't actually have a lot of, which was the weird enemies, like enemies, zombie type things with like traffic lights as heads and shit like that. Like that weird fusion of decrepit city and post-apocalyptic being merged into living things was what made it really cool. But everyone's like, nah, it's basically just generic zombies for most of it. I'm like, oh, that's lame.
Apex, that was developed by a big company, but that's been out for 4 years now, so...
Don't know what the fuck Thrown It
I don't know what that is either. Wallpaper Engine is not a game, but fair enough. Dead by Daylight's old. Came out 2016. Black Myth Wukong has, again, small developer. War Thunder's been out for fucking ever. Football Manager. Okay.
Stardew, made by one guy.
Stardew, yeah, made by one guy, and is number 24 on the most played games right now. And then
23 on mine.
Oh, it's 23, 24, whatever. It's really close to Football Manager, so they're probably swapping back and forth right now. And then we'll just go to 25. The last one's Elden Ring, which is... I don't know. Do you count them as a big studio? I really don't.
Oh, yeah, they are. Fucking Bandai Namco?
They're a big studio, but I feel like they develop... Their games have more of an indie feel to them. It's not like it's a typical AAA game studio.
It's FromSoft, published by Bandai Namco, and FromSoft is massive. Like, they're... FromSoft is Soulsborne. That is...
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, I know.
Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, all of it. They apparently picked up Armor Core, which I was a fan of Armor Core back in the day. So FromSoft's a pretty big company.
They're a pretty big company, but they also don't really listen to like outside influence when they develop games. They just do their own thing, and they do it really good.
Yeah, Bandai Namco is one of the few companies that develops out of passion, and...
They're very good at sticking with their vision and not straying to make money.
Or sorry, FromSoft, not Bandai Namco. Fuck, I keep saying that. But Miyazaki, the CEO of FromSoft, is absolutely batshit insane, for starters. But secondly, he isn't even happy with Elden Ring. Elden Ring is to this day the best third-person RPG out there. Like, widely agreed upon. Dude put out Elden Ring and said, yeah, we worked on this for like almost 10 years. It's alright. It's getting closer to what I want to make, but this ain't my true game yet. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you kidding me?
Not quite there yet.
He's also a foot person. He's really into feet.
Fuck.
And I don't know if this was just a meme or if it was true. I want to believe it's true. Somebody from his development team had to tell him to stop putting so many NPCs to be barefoot. Because, like, people are getting worried. Like, he was doing 3D models of people's feet in real life to scan them in to put them in the game.
Fuck. Okay.
And he just kept doing it. He just kept doing it to everyone. And he has a couple of characters posed where, like, their feet are, like, the first thing that you see. And everyone's like, dude, for real, like,
stop this shit.
you gotta fucking stop. So, yeah, Miyazaki is literally insane, but he makes damn good games.
But yeah, anyway, to get our point across, yeah, most of the games being played right now by the majority of people are not developed by the big AAA studios. It's all indie, AA, smaller studios. Or shit, when it comes to Stardew Valley, developed by a single fucking person.
There's a lot of single devs out there, actually. Phasmophobia. All one dude. That's a full-fledged game with VR implement.
Fucking, shit, what's it called? Oh my god, why am I... Lethal Company, also.
Yeah, that's made by one guy. But, yeah. Good stuff. Lots of good games. Lots of exciting things happening in the video game world. I thoroughly believe this is one of, with all the dog shit aside, this is one of the best times for video games ever.
Yeah, it's
You just can't follow AAA.
This last year, yeah, especially for indie development, has been ridiculously good. There's been so many good games coming out.
I mean, I think a solid 95% of what I've played this last year has been indie, or you could consider AA. Yeah. I think I've played very little full-blown AAA games this year. And the ones I have played are old AAA from when they were actually good, like Assassin's Creed 2.
The last, I would say, like, AAA game I played was probably War Thunder. And I haven't played it since July.
Brother, last time I played fucking War Thunder was January 28th.
I don't even think I played it in July. I think I, like, booted it up and did, like, maybe one game.
I've basically not played it this year.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Going on for a while here. So, thank you guys for listening to our ramblings. And next week I will try to have some more to talk about. I mean, I definitely got enough to talk about for Warhammer, but I'm gonna try to play some of Forever Winter and give my thoughts on it.
I think I might buy Warhammer so I can give my opinion on it as well. It looks very good, so.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, $60 price tag.
Yeah, that's
kind of rough to eat.
That's what's kind of causing me a little hesitation, but it looks very good, and I've only really heard good things from it.
Fuck, I'll go on a whole ass tangent of Warhammer. I'll keep this to like 30 seconds. Fuck, I'll even time myself. And go. Warhammer is not something I've ever really been huge into. I've just had passing memes come by, and it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. So I haven't known very much about it, but after playing Space Marine 2, I have gone full fucking turbo nerd into it, and I've done nothing but research Warhammer for like the last 5 days. And honestly, I'm about to get into the fucking miniatures to play the tabletop game. I'm not even joking. And time.
Gonna spend
25 seconds.
Gonna spend that $40,000 it costs to get into it.
Fucking honestly. So, more on that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about Warhammer next week.
So, thanks y'all for watching, and we'll catch you next week.
Yep, see you guys.